going to start drawing this bevel gear support from top view. And make sure to work on parallel projection by clicking this drop down arrow and select parallel. Start with line, so type L for line command, click anywhere on the screen, and to your right for 40 millimeters, downward for 25, to your right again for 70 millimeters, move your cursor upward for 25, and to your right for 40, and bring it downward for 10, which is the thickness. I'm going to join the segments here. So I'm just going to window. So type J for join command, enter, and window the whole thing, except for this line here. And the thickness is 10, so I'm just going to use offset command. So O for offset, enter 10, enter again, select the object, click below that object, line again, click this endpoint to endpoint. I'm going to join the segments. So type J for join command and just window the whole thing. L again for line. Click the endpoint and to your left for 6 units. And move it downward from this point to this point is 54 minus 10 is 44. And I'm going to draw the line from the midpoint here to the right for 45 units, which is half of 90. So I'm going to draw a guide first. So L for line command, right click to enter, shift right click and select mid between 2 points. So it's the middle between these endpoints here, and move your cursor downward for 88 units. And move to your right for 45 units. And move it upward and just track, click, and click that endpoint. I'm just going to delete this one. Now I'm going to apply fillet. So go to home and inside the modify panel, which is this one here, the fillet. Go down to the command prompt, click radius option and enter 6 for radius. Click this line and click this line here. Make sure to click that smaller line. There you go. And for this one here, the radius is 12. Fillet, radius, enter 12. And go back to command prompt again, select multiple. Click this line, click this line, click this line, and click this line. And where else is 12? This one here, this line, and enter. Let me check here. Yeah, and this one is 5, so fillet. Radius option from the command prompt, enter 5. Click this line and click this line. Right click to repeat fillet, enter 3 for radius. All right, this one here, click this line and click this line. Where else? This one here. And from to the other side, so fillet again. Radius. Enter 6. Oh, not this one here. Not yet. What I'm going to do is mirror this one first. So I'm going to join the segments first. So J for join command. And just window this one. Now this is one object. I'm just going to mirror this one. So type MI for mirror command. Select this object. Right click to enter. And specify first point of mirror line. You can start from the midpoint. can bring your cursor, wait, mirror, click the object, and start from shift right click and select mid between 2 points to make sure it's centered, and bring your cursor upward or downward. As long as it's straight, you can see it's straight, you can see that green dash line, click and select no. Now apply more fillet, so select fillet from the modify panel, click radius, and select an enter 5 for radius for this one here. Click this line and click this line, and next is this one here is 3 shown here. So fillet again. Make sure to work on this screen. Sometimes I click this one and this one is active, so I have to click this one again. So fillet, radius option from the command prompt, and enter 3. Click this line and click this line, and this one here is 12. So fillet, radius, enter 12. Click this line and click this line and enter. Now I'm going to draw the circle. So I'm going to use a guide again using line. So type L for line command, right click to enter, and press the shift key and right click and select mid between 2 points. So click this end point and this end point, and now I'm holding the line from the middle. Move your cursor downward and enter 60. Type C for circle and use this end point as center and enter 25. Right click to repeat circle, end point as center or center of the circle, you can use that too, and enter 16. Now I'm going to draw a line from quadrant and click that perpendicular point. Right click to repeat line, quadrant, and click that perpendicular point. I don't need this one anymore. Now I'm gonna draw a line before I extrude the whole thing, because the center of this circle, and if you draw a straight line from here and draw a line from here, so it's coming down from the quadrant. And I'm gonna show you. So this is what happened. I'm gonna change this to the wireframe. So this one from the quadrant, and you go down to this side and bring it down for 66 units as a distance from this perpendicular point to the center of the circle or the wheel. All right. So what I'm gonna do is draw a line from quadrant and just gonna track, because the line is just up to that point, and click enter. Because what happened here, it was straight, but we did a fillet, so that's why it created this curve. But if it's straight, it's gonna hit the perpendicular point. All right. Okay. So click this orbit to move your drawing around. So the thickness of this one here, from this point to this point is 25. So I'm going to use press pull command. So inside the modeling panel, select press pull, hover over this object. Once it turns blue, left click, let go of your finger, pull it up for 25 units. And I'm gonna extrude this one too, or maybe extrude the circle first. So the distance, so I'm gonna do this one here, this portion, and the thickness for that is from this point to this point is 38, which is this one. So use press pull command, hover over this portion here, bring it up for 38 units. hover over this portion and bring it up for 25 units. Same on the other side. Hover over this portion here. Once it turns blue, left click and pull it up for 25 units. Just want to check just to make sure everything is okay. All right. Now, the thickness for this one here, for this one, downward is 10 units from this point to this point, which is also this one here. Looking from front view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try press pull command if it's going to work. Yeah, it seems to be working. Yeah, hover over the center, it turns blue. Left click and bring it downward for 10 units. I want to make sure, so press pull this one down for, no wait, I'm gonna turn this grid off first. It's easier to see. So what I'm gonna do is combine the whole thing first. So use union command inside the solid editing panel and just window the whole thing. Now this is one object. Yeah, as you can see here, we have to use press pull command, and I'm just gonna erase the circle first because it's gonna interfere with circle. All right. Press pull command, hover over this area. Once it turns blue, pull it down or push it down. Up to this point here. Hard to see. You can click this in point. There you go. Oh, before we proceed, or before you start, you should click the dynamic input and select polar tracking, turn it on, object snap tracking, object snap, and selection cycling. All right. And this one too, I'm gonna use press pull command to pull this down. Press pull command, hover over this area here. Once it turns blue, just click that in point. I'm gonna check. All right, so now I'm gonna draw this portion here. And looking from right view, you can see the distance from this point here to this point is 66. And we have this guide here that we did earlier. So draw a line from in point downward for 66 units. Now I'm going to draw my circle. And as you can see, the circle is facing upward because the z-axis vector is facing upward. So what I'm going to do is delete this one, change the direction of the z-axis, click anywhere on the screen, or you can click that in point and put it to this direction. See the green dash line? Just follow that. And then C for circle, click that in point. And as you can see here, it's facing the z-axis vector or z-axis vector. And enter 19 for radius. I'm just gonna move this away. Over here. Okay, circle again. Click the center of the circle and enter 10 for radius. And draw a line. So L for line command, click that in point. And shift right click and select tangent. Bring your drawing to front view, no, right side view. Mirror this one. So type MI for mirror command. Click this object. Specify first point of mirror line. Start from in point. Bring your cursor upward. As long as it's straight, you can see that green dashed line. So it means it's straight. Click and select no. Draw a line. So L for line. Right click and click the in point here. So in point here. Shift right click and select in point. Oh, wait. No. And what I'm gonna do is hide this one. So click the object, right click, hover over isolate, and select hide objects. There you go, and draw a line, in point to in point, and then trim. So type TR for trim command, right click, and use this one as boundaries on this line. Right click to enter and trim this one. I'm going to join the segments by typing J for join command. Select this line, this arc, and this line. Now this is one object. Now I'm going to bring back the hidden objects. So right click, hover over isolate, and select an object isolation. Now I'm going to check the thickness for this object here, which is 10 from this point to this point. So I'm going to extrude this one. Select the object, go back to the ribbon, and inside the modeling panel, select extrude command and extrude it for 10 units. I'm going to redraw the circle. So from center, and just click that in point there and extrude this circle for 10 units. And just click that in point or enter 10. And as you can see here, the thickness of this wheel is 16 minus 10 is 6 divided by 2. So the distance from here to here is 3, and from this corner to this corner is 3. So what I'm going to do is use press pull command. I'm just going to delete this guide. It's a line. All right. Press pull command. Hover over this circle. Once it turns blue, left click and pull this out for 3 units. And here, I'm gonna change this to shaded with edges. It's easier to see. All right, so use press pull command again. Hover over this circle. So once it turns blue, pull it in for 3 units. Now I'm gonna combine these objects by using union command inside the solid editing panel. Click this one and click this one here. Now I'm gonna poke a hole. So I'm gonna use press pull command. Just hover over this thingy inside this face. Left click, push it to there, left click again, and enter. All right, I'm gonna mirror this one. So front, type MI for mirror command. Select this one, right click and specify first point of mirror line. I'm gonna use the center of this cylinder and move your cursor downward or upward. It won't matter. As long as it's straight, and you can see that green dash line, it means this one is straight. Click and select no. All right. I'm gonna check. Okay, so bring this to front view. I'm gonna poke a hole from here, as you can see in this drawing here. So the distance from the center, I need the front view. And the distance for that, I'm just gonna check. From center to that perpendicular point is 12. Dim linear from that center to that perpendicular point is 12. Wait, I want to make sure. All right, shift right click, center of circle, and that perpendicular point there. All right, so I'm gonna change this to the wireframe. It's easier to draw a guide. So type L for line. Right click to enter. So from that in point, move your cursor to the left for 12 units. Bring it downward for 12 units. So this is gonna be the center of our circle from that in point. So C for circle, click that in point, and enter 5 for radius. Let me check. Yeah, I'm gonna bring this back to front view. I'm gonna mirror this circle. So type MI for mirror command. Select this circle and locate midpoint for the first point of mirror line. And I'm gonna start from that center and bring your cursor downward. As long as it's straight, you can click anywhere. Click and select no. I'm just gonna erase this guide. I'm gonna poke a hole. I'm just gonna change this to shaded with edges. So go to home, select press pull command inside the modeling panel. Hover over this center or this area. Once it turns blue, left click, let go of your finger, move your cursor to that direction, left click again. Same process, hover over, left click, let go, and left click again. All right. I'm gonna bring my model, so click model here. I'm gonna change this to shaded with edges. I'm gonna check what's missing. This one here, I'm gonna apply fillet. I'm gonna check the fillet. And looking from right view, the fillet for this, the radius for that fillet is 25. So but first I'm gonna union the objects. So select the whole object. Now this is one object. Now I could apply fillet, go to solid, select fillet edge, go down to the command prompt, click radius, and enter 25. Click this edge, and click this edge, and enter twice. And I think it's done. I can apply materials. So type materials. I'm gonna maximize this one. Type materials. And first change this to realistic. Move this one. And erase the unwanted objects. I'm just gonna use metallic paint. This one here. So click this arrow and just drag this one here. Close this one. Go to visualize. Visualize here. And then click this drop down arrow. I'm just gonna change the exposure, adjust the exposure setting. I think I missed something here. I have to apply fillet. So fillet edge, radius, enter 6. Click this edge and this edge, enter twice. I think it's done. Thanks for watching.